we received criminal activity reports on aggravated aggression and battery. So here's the report. Case number 1. After years of suffering, victim stopped eating and drinking and started walking restlessly. Sedation had to be applied, and victim did not come awake anymore and died after a week. Case number 2. Under the elevating assault, communication for victim became impossible. The victim became restless and started to scream upon every stimuli. The victim died 2 years later. And there's more, and there's even more. The perpetrator behind all these cases is called dementia, causing immense damage to the well-being of individuals. And it is not the first time. The first few times we received such case report, it has been only more prominent in our aging society. As a detective, I am specializing in ALS and FTD, two aggressive forms of neurodegenerative disorders. One clue going through these case profiles caught my attention is that the protein TDP43 was often found in the majority of cases and accumulated in an aggregated form and not in where they're normally observed to be. And this has led to a lot of guesses. How did the crime exactly happen? So maybe the aggregate has become toxic by itself, and the decline of brain functions we saw in the patient are a result of suffering and dying neurons. Or because the protein TDP43 could have been just involuntarily participating in the crime because they're trapped and cannot perform its native functions. As you see, there's a lot of information going on and a lot of missing links to answer. So we, as a group of detectives, are trying to address these questions in a combined effort. So some of us try to reconstruct how the suspect protein looks like structurally, and some focus on characterizing the native functions of the protein, which could have been applied as a method of crime. And I apply the classical detective method, investigate who and what the suspect came to interact with. So we started by reconstructing the crime scene. So we modeled the pathological processes seen in the patient brain in cultured cells so we can apply manipulations. And then I tapped the suspect. By attaching to it, a protein would then tag anything that comes into the proximity. Like this, I was able to trace back the partners in crime or the benign factors without which the process could have developed way worse. This information was valuable because TDP actually has a lot of native functions, and simply removing it would not otherwise be a viable method for therapeutic approaches. So, as detectives, we are hoping by answering to these missing links, we could have more cases closed in the near future.